I used to. Anymore, anymore. I don't hear from you like I used to. Anymore, anymore. Let's run it back and kick it like we used to.
Hey guys, what's up? It's Julia and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to another episode in the Stories from Set series. Today I am here with
Jill, Ian.
We met fairly recently, only like a few months ago, right?
Yeah.
We're both a part of Z-Pack, very exciting. And I told you this before, but I did know who you were.
That's so cute.
I did, yeah. Through like Instagram, and I think I saw your shorts on YouTube.
That's really cute.
Yeah.
Aww.
And when I saw your name on the list, I was really excited to like actually get to know you.
Stop.
Yeah. She's done the Disney wand, which I've already said on my channel that like, to me, if you've done the Disney wand, you have so many cool points, you're set for life.
You know what? That was like maybe the best moment of my entire life.
Can we just start with that actually?
Yeah, it's actually like way different than you would think it would be.
Okay, set up the whole day for me.
Okay, I flew to LA for the Disney Channel wand.
That's amazing.
Because they were like, do you want to do this? We're doing it on this day. And I was like, I'm in Philly.
Do you want to do this?
I'm
like,
in
what do you
Philly.
say no?
Yeah, exactly. And they were like, we're basically gonna stop doing it, but we know that it means a lot to you guys. So we're gonna keep doing it just because we know that you guys want to be doing it. And I was like, okay. I called my sister. I was like, we're getting on a plane to LA this weekend, specifically to do the Disney.
Was that
wand.
like your dream?
Yeah, I wanted to do it forever.
Oh,
And it was like a green screen room with like a green duct taped like stick, basically. And
Were you thinking
it was
about
so
practice
hard.
in your room?
Like kind of,
yeah.
Like when they would do it, I would do it. You know, like gotta do it together. But they like, it was so tricky. Like I thought it would be like easy and you can just do it wherever. No, they would like go, okay, a little bit to the left, a little bit to the left. Okay, what are you looking at in your peripheral vision? And put a sticky note there and then go a little bit over and a little bit over. So there's all these sticky notes all over the set. And then you have to trace them.
Wow.
And it was like so hard.
That is so cool.
I was stressed.
That
it was
is,
on my.
I cannot express to you
Where is it?
how in awe I am of that. Like I love that so much.
Here we are. It's on my Finsta from way back in the day.
Hi, I'm Jillian Shea Spaeder from Walk the Prank, and you're watching Disney Channel.
Like, why is my hair that long?
That was so cool! That was so cool!
Wait, can you reenact it for us?
Hi, I'm Jillian Shea Spaeder.
Wait, when did I do that? It's afterwards.
Hi, I'm Jillian Shea from Walk the Prank, and you're watching Disney Channel.
That was so cool!
There was this show that was one of those, what is it called? Like mocap, like the motion capture suits where you like
I've never heard of that.
wear the like dots. So it's like animation,
yeah,
but like they use your body movements.
That's really cool.
So I was going to a producer callback for one of those shows. And I like, in the waiting room, saw this person that I hadn't seen in a few years who I like had this whole big like dramatic history with. So I was like going in the bathroom and I was like, and I get in the room. I was like, I want to say like 15, 16.
Okay.
Maybe 17, honestly. I don't even know. I went in the room and I like knew all my lines. And you're supposed to like move around because it's motion capture.
I didn't like that before.
So strange. It's the weirdest thing. And because it's voiceover, so you have to like pay attention to your voice, but at the same time, it's like about
Wow, cool.
the movement.
Yeah.
And I basically put my script on the ground so I could use my body. And halfway through, I like can't think of a line. And I'm literally like, and I did the #1 no-no in auditions where you're like, sorry.
Oh no!
And then I pick up my script and they're like, you can just look at it real quick. And I look at the line, I read it, I put it down again. I'm like, okay. They're like, start from the top. I'm like, awesome. At the same spot.
A producer session.
Producer session, like 6 people in the room.
Yeah.
Major network. At the same exact spot.
Yeah.
I forget the same exact line. And they're like so done with me. They're like, you can just hold it. And I was like,
but how can you do the movement if you're holding it?
exactly.
So You're like interpretive dancing as you're saying lines.
Yeah, pretty much.
Gotcha.
And
natural.
I read it with
An average
script.
Tuesday.
Yeah. And then on the way out, I'm like, thank you guys. And I drop my script on the ground. And I'm like scrambling to get it. I pick it up, I'm walking, I drop it a second time.
Is it because you saw that person in the waiting room?
I mean, it definitely like threw me off.
Yeah.
But then I sure did get in the car and cry. You know what? I must have been younger because my mom was driving me. I wasn't driving myself.
Yeah.
And it was an in-person audition. So this had to be like a good, I had to be like, oh my, 3 years ago I would have been 17.
Yeah.
When did that happen?
I know.
Okay, so maybe I was. That's weird.
I've told this story before, but one of the worst audition stories I've had was for a commercial. I went in and I had to like do the scene while using the toy because it was like for whatever. And so I get so into it, and I was a little confused with the script because it said like start to squeeze out the gel that was for the toy. It was like a And so I start like I'm improvising, I'm doing the commercial, and I start squeezing out the gel and like making the toy. This sounds like what I mean, like a children's toy, whatever. I was not supposed to actually use the product, make the gel, and make the toy. And the casting director like stopped me in the middle and was like, why are you squeezing out the gel? And I was really into it. And it's awkward when like you're really into it and you're really feeling it, and I just got going and I started making the toy. Yeah, I don't think I actually have auditioned for that office since.
Were you just not doing the toy correctly?
No, then it wasn't even working. It wasn't even working. Like the gel wasn't even squeezing out. But I think like in the script it said host starts to make, make the product, make the toy.
Yeah.
I actually remember the name of the company. I'll blurt it out, but it was. Did you audition for that?
No.
Yeah.
Funny one. You know Stranger Things?
I've heard
Dustin's girlfriend. Like the girlfriend who's like singing. You've seen it on TikTok. The like.
on TikTok.
Okay.
Erica,
you know what?
Is her name? Is that not Erica?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't know. I think that's the sister. But there's this girl that's doing this whole scene where she's like singing this song, and it's this big moment. And I had an audition for that, and I had coached
for Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Sick.
And I coached for it. And my coach had me sobbing the whole time. It was like sob through this whole thing. So I submit this tape, and it was that like never-ending story thing that was all and whatever. So I'm like sobbing my eyes out. The show comes out, and she's like smiling and laughing, and I was like, all right.
Oh no.
Awesome.
Did it say to like sob in the script, or was it?
I mean, it said it was like really emotional. And my coach was like, yeah, pull the tears. And I was like, all right. And yeah, I saw it, and I was like, whoa. So I guess that's a self-tape disaster. But they told me they liked my tape, I think. I'm pretty sure I heard good feedback from it. So I was like, you know what? It's fine. Let me know if you need a reader. I'll come read with you sometime.
I will take you up on that.
Yeah. I came out for my first pilot season, and I had booked my flight home because I didn't book anything, obviously. And I was 12. No, yes. I was booking my flight home to go back to school and stop acting because the deal was like just try one pilot season for fun, like that'll be it. And my manager called me and was like, hey, I know your flight's tomorrow. We have one more audition, just one more, please. And my little 12-year-old heart was like, no, I'm done with this. It was for Walk the Prank, spoiler alert, and it asked for like an older looking 14-year-old or something. And I had just auditioned for Bizarre Bark, weirdly, a couple weeks before that, and went to producers for it, and they were like, she just doesn't look old enough.
For one of the leads, or for?
Yeah, for which one was Frankie, I forget. I think that was Madison's role.
Yeah.
Love her to pieces. She's an angel. But I was like, ugh, I just got like rejected from this because I didn't look old enough. I'm not gonna book it.
At 12,
like,
how were you taking that rejection?
Like, I mean, I think fine, but also it was like I had left middle school and everyone knew where I was going, and I was so worried about like being embarrassed going back.
See, I think it's so admirable to just go to begin with.
I mean, looking back, I'm like, I think so too, but at the time I was like, if I don't come back on TV,
as a star.
like, no. So basically, I was like, I don't want to stay for this audition. Like, I'm tired, I want to go home, I don't want to have to move my flight. And my sister was like, hey, you came here to try, so move your flight and try. And I stayed for the audition, I did it, and in the room, it was with sweet Amber.
Oh,
and
yes,
Amber told me, she was like, can you come back tonight to coach with me, and you're gonna meet producers tomorrow? So we canceled the flight.
But you had known Amber before the audition.
Yeah, no,
Really?
I hadn't. Because I was gonna
Wow.
say I did Nikki, Ricky, Dickie, and Dawn, but that was in
Were you on
between. Yeah, that was when, like, right after we filmed the pilot, I think.
Amber is the sweetest soul. Amber Horn.
She's an angel.
Yes.
I love her
Yes,
to
she
bits.
is.
But yeah, I did the producer callback. Then I think I went home for a bit, and then I think I came back. And
So
I
you
ended up
auditioned,
testing.
and then that night,
Yeah,
you have
in the
producers.
room, she
That's
told me to
crazy.
like. She was like in the room, was like, "Can you come back and coach with me tonight? And tomorrow you'll meet producers."
that's wild.
And we just like clicked instantly. And then I had a test, and then a mix and match. And then I think they booked me and one of the other boys, and then we had another mix and match where I had already had
Oh, that's
it.
so cool.
But I don't think I knew I had booked it for some reason. And then, weirdly, after the mix and match, we had a picture of the four of us in the lobby. Like, for some reason, we all just had a feeling.
Yeah.
Or actually, the five of us, like the whole cast, like we just happened to take a picture in the lobby. And it just was the five of us that did it, which is so
crazy.
weird how
Oh my
that
gosh.
works. Because there were like 4 people for each role. And like the odds that the 5 of us were all in the picture together, like so weird.
So it was the last audition.
Yeah, I was like done.
Crazy.
I was ready to quit. Well, not like quit, but I was 12. I was like, I'm going back to school.
How many auditions do you think you went on in total for the pilot season? Like a ton?
Probably like 30. It was like back in the day when
Yeah.
it was like 4 a week and in person, come in at 2:25 on a Thursday.
Yeah.
I miss those days.
Yeah, I got like a little taste of that because I was doing theater, and then the pandemic happened, and then I started like really auditioning for TV and film.
Yeah.
So I've really experienced like well, no, I did a little bit, but not to that extent.
It was weird. Yeah, they'd be like literally 2:25
Oh,
on
yeah.
Thursday
Yeah.
at this random sus location. And then you sit in the waiting room and like everyone's staring at you and everyone's looking around at each other and like whispering to their moms.
I remember that.
And it's like, oh my goodness.
We drove multiple times, but like not 2 hours each way, but a very long time in rush hour traffic for this like commercial audition that I ended up booking. And it feels so good when you're like, oh,
Didn't work.
High five.
No, that was bad.
That was so bad. It was that
Good. The third one hurt.
Okay, fun fact about this commercial, I've never seen it. I have no idea what happened to
That's
it.
nice.
It said they needed like choir girls, and so I go in like my little black dress. I bring my full like musical theater anthology sheet music book. And I'm like, I'm gonna, you know, they might have an accompanist, I'm gonna sing. If I remember correctly, they brought us in groups of 3, and all we had to do was like pretend to sing one note. Like I don't even think we had to sing it. I bring in my full sheet music book. I remember booking it, which felt really good because most of them you don't hear back from, and you sit in the traffic, and well now you don't. I mean, I just stand in my room in my pajama pants and do something.
You know?
I did that producer session with my pajama pants on.
Dude, I did that like last week. I have a
I
video
know,
of it.
comfortable.
I always take videos when I have producer sessions so I can like look back in case I book it. Literally like the, good morning, I'm auditioning for the project of my life this morning. And then you like find it 2 weeks later and you're like,
On that topic, I have, let's see, for the JTM audition process, 82.
Stop.
Wait, where is it? It's when I was crying in Target.
Stop.
This is when I found out I got it.
So I literally, like, I don't believe this is happening right now. Wait, I don't believe this is happening right now.
You're so cute. Wait, why were you crying because you didn't get it?
The role that I initially auditioned for.
Oh, initially.
After the chemistry read, I was like, okay, I need to get my mind off of it. I'll go to Target.
Yeah.
When you're auditioning for a JoJo Siwa project, don't go to Target to get your mind off of something, because I walk into Target and I just see her face everywhere. And I just got off the chemistry with her and I wanted this so badly. Like every morsel of my being, I wanted this so badly. And I just go to Target to try to distract myself.
Nope.
And I just start crying. Like I can't make this up. I'm standing in the little girls' clothing section in Target.
Yeah.
Crying. And it ended up obviously working out. But
Yeah, there you go. That's a win.
Did you guys get to do any events representing the show? Like, did you go to Disneyland or do anything like that?
Oh yeah, we did Disneyland a couple
That's
times.
so much fun.
Yeah, with like D23, we got to go.
No
That was
way.
really cool.
Oh my god, what did you guys get to do?
I forget, we were so little. Oh, I do know that we went on the Tower of Terror. No. It changed to Guardians at that point. And we went on with my whole cast and the whole cast of Tangled.
What?
Like, we were just with like Mandy Moore and all them, like just our two casts. That was it. And my dad was there.
Oh my god,
on
amazing.
the Guardians of the Galaxy ride. And the people hated us because every time the ride would finish, we would be like, again. And I guess the people like at Disney were instructed to do whatever we told them to do. So we wrote it like 6 times in a row with the whole cast of Tangled because we wanted to get every song. So it was just like so funny. Literally the coolest thing in my life. Me and my co-star Cody got to go on a Disney cruise to film 2 commercials.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and that was ridiculous.
Wow.
And then we did like the Star Wars premieres and stuff, which was cool. The Godmothered audition process was very different. It was at the very tail end of real in-person auditions.
Really?
Yeah, because we got shut down 3 days early from filming because of COVID. So it was like the very tail end.
Okay.
Yeah, and I had my first audition for it, which, was it in person? It was in person. Like, this would be my advice to any actors. I mean, I need to tell myself this all the time, so you want to like think about when you did that and it works, and then I go to do it and I'm like, ooh. But I was bold. Like, they told you to prepare a song to sing and the script, and I brought in my guitar. They had some Christmas song, and I could hear all the girls in the
Because
waiting
Jill
room
is also
for
like
me.
a full-on singer-songwriter. Oh my god, we can go into that too. Okay.
Yeah.
Of course.
And I could hear all the girls in the waiting room, or while I was in the waiting room, and they were all like singing this Christmas song, like very like belty and like Christina Aguilera-y. And I was like, I want to be different. I want to be different. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And I went in and I sang it like very like acoustic, laid back,
You gotta
slowed
choose the
down.
song?
No.
Oh,
It was,
you brought your guitar.
It
and
was
played
Let It Snow.
Okay.
Yeah, and I brought a guitar and then like completely changed the chords and the arrangement and changed the whole thing, and I did it. I mean, the character played guitar, so I was like, why
amazing.
not?
Yeah.
But nobody else had one, and I was sitting in the waiting room, and I was like, I messed up. I had a producer session for it, but the producers were on Zoom, weirdly.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, how long after the initial audition was the pre-session?
I feel like it was probably like 3 weeks. I feel like it took a while. And
So
that
you
was
didn't
fun.
hear anything after the initial audition, and you just like let it go, or?
I mean, yeah, I think I let it go because I had been in the running for, oh, this is funny. I forgot this part. This is so funny. So that morning, like my day, here's my schedule.
Okay.
The morning was an audition for an HBO show. No, this was the producer callback day, not the first audition day. I had a callback for, no, not a callback. I had a first audition for an HBO show that morning, and then had to drive right to the producer callback for Godmothered. And then while I was in the HBO audition that morning, they were like, can you come back in like an hour to meet the producer and the director
Oh my
of this
God.
HBO show? And I was like, yeah, I'll be right back. Ran, did the producer callback for
way.
Godmothered.
That is
Ran and got
crazy.
back in the car and did the producer director
So
thing.
you had an audition in the morning, then a produce session, and then another producer session?
for the project that morning.
Dude, that's
It was the most chaotic day of my life.
It's
And
amazing.
I was so stressed, and I was blasting Unwritten in the car with the windows down because I was by myself. I drove at this point, and I'm blasting it, scream singing it, and the casting director walks right by the car, and I was like,
Of which, the HBO show?
I think Godmother.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
So I wasn't like freaking out about Godmothered afterwards because I was like at that point in the running for 2 things. So I was like, you know what? One of them will maybe happen. I'm not gonna stress. And I didn't get the HBO show, obviously, because they sent out another casting call or something for it, like 3 weeks after my producer callback. And I was crying my eyes out. Like, I was so upset. I was like, of course.
Because HBO is your goal right now.
Yeah. And I hadn't gotten that, and then I thought I didn't get Godmothered. So I was like, I'm done. Of course. I can look back afterwards and be like, yeah, that was
Hindsight.
great.
Hindsight is everything.
Did great. But in the moment, it was like, my dreams are shattered.
Yeah.
So I went home for Christmas, and I had gotten home, like, just gotten home on a flight at like 10 p.m. and had a sleepover in my brother's room because we were watching a movie and I fell asleep in there. And I woke up to my mom coming in my room, or his room, at like 8 a.m. was like, hey, Susie, who's my manager, Susie's on the phone. Like she like has notes for your audition tape the other day. And she gets on the phone and she's like, Jillian, you booked it. And my brother wakes up and I'm like running around the house like screaming because I thought I didn't get it. Like I had cried. Oh, like 5 days before. Because it was filming like January.
Yeah.
So it was quick.
Yeah.
But I had like cried about not.
So
getting
how
it.
long after the producer session before you heard?
I think like 4 weeks. Like I feel like it took a while because I really like I cried my tears over it. It was so unexpected. I worked with a choir that went to Berklee College of Music and they convinced me to apply for Berklee and then I ended up going to Berklee. So it like kind of like set the last 3 years of my life.
How long were you in Boston for?
When I was filming, I was there for 3 months.
You really thought you didn't get it and then look at that.
Yeah, really didn't. It reminded me of that when you were talking about your movie that you auditioned for one role, cried because you didn't get it, and then got a different one. It's like, yeah, that's, yep, it's how it goes.
That's how it goes. So Jill basically is a one-woman production company, right? The other month we were having a meeting for Z-Pack.
Yes.
And Jill was showing me a list of like, how many people were sent in
auditions. Oh god, like
Like
probably
200?
like probably more than that. That was for like one role.
That's crazy. So how did you, I didn't even finish what I was saying. You were writing and producing your own film about your own story.
Yeah.
And she put up a casting notice on Actors Access and all these people submitted and were sending in self-tapes and that's so cool.
It was so
cool.
So wild. It's like very weird looking at things from a casting director perspective.
Yeah.
And being like, I see what you're doing in that actor. I know what you're doing.
And to think about all these people like set up their self-tape area, got ready, printed out your script, memorized the lines, made this whole character, and then put themselves on tape for your project. That's
For like
amazing.
my writing. I was like, what?
Your story, your personal
yeah, it's
story.
weird hearing people read your writing.
So you wrote this story about your personal experience. And did you want to play the main character or you wanted someone else to portray?
Debating.
It's still in the works.
Yeah, I'm debating if this is why I haven't made it yet. Because it's like,
Wait, have you
I
ever called
can't.
yet?
No.
Can I be the reader for your
Absolutely.
Okay. I told you the first time, I was like, I want to be the
know,
reader.
like I want to read for this.
I want to read, yeah.
And there's so many logistics to figure out and it's such a gentle topic and I just want to do it well and respectfully. So I'm just, like totally taking my time on it. So it's probably going to take another few months, but I don't know. Like part of me wants to act in it and then part of me wants to like remove myself from it a bit. And like,
direct.
Yeah. Because I direct either way, but it's like kind of hard to direct something that you're starring in.
Yeah. But you've made films in the past. Didn't you do one about...
I did one about voting.
Okay, I saw that. So what was the process? And did you like write that?
I did not write it. So my friend Lilia Buckingham wrote it. She's a very talented writer. And we had applied for a grant to make a short film about voting. And we were applying
and
against
the two
like
of you
adults.
just did this, like, that's really cool.
We just were like very into making shorts and like writing stuff and making a difference and activism. We were applying for this grant against like adults and got it. And it was the most shocking
Where was
thing
the grant
in the world.
from? What was it?
I can't. Well, I'll tell you.
Okay, No way!
Yeah.
Oh my god, I feel so
I
bad.
know.
I just reacted like that. I have to bleep it out.
No.
That's
I know, you have to bleep it out and then you're reacting like that. It was the coolest thing in the world.
So how did this come about? This person was just...
No, Lilia found it and was like, hey, let's apply for this. And I was like, LOL, against adults, like we're not gonna get this.
Had this person seen the film?
I'm sure.
That's crazy.
Isn't that really cool?
That's really cool.
It was really
That's
cool.
massive.
Yeah, it was
Just
awesome.
because you guys wanted it,
Yeah, it was so cool. And we had to submit like, she had to submit a script, I had to send like a budget.
Even though this film you're working on now is in a hiatus, when you were watching the self-tapes, in the casting director's seat, and the writer's seat, and the director's seat, what caught your attention?
So many seats.
So many seats all at once.
This is so, everyone tells you this, but I don't think you realize how important it is until you're watching a million tapes. It's the moment before the eye lines. It's the little details. Like the people that you could tell were actually in the space that it's set in rather than their kitchen with the self-tape setup. And like you could tell, like when people were really, really, really feeling the environment and the details and looking at the different people and the way that they act differently with each character, even though they're just looking at sticky notes on a wall, it's so visible when somebody puts
Is it going to change the way that you do your self-tapes after?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like I've been putting way more care into that kind of stuff.
Wow.
Just because it really does matter. And it's hard to do. It's hard to ask people with a self-tape to
create a world.
Yeah, to be outside when you're in your room. Like it's hard to ask for that, but that's how you get booked, I suppose.
So if you auditioned for Jill's film, it is currently in hiatus, and maybe you'll hear
And Jill cares a lot about eye lines, apparently.
Maybe you'll hear in a few months, and if you get a call back, I will be your reader.
There you go. She'll be there.
I'll be there. I actually like really want to do that. That
Dude, I'll take you up on it.
Amazing.
I think it's so important, especially for actors or people in jobs where you're constantly getting compared to other people, to try not to compare yourself, which I know is so hard, and I'm telling myself this right now too. But I think it's so hard when you judge other people, like, oh, they're so much better than me, they're so much whatever, they're prettier than me, and it's like, it's not effective, and also we don't see ourselves in the best light, and we see other people in the best light, and I think it's also just not helpful, because somebody may be right for a role that you weren't right for. Does it mean they're better? Not necessarily. They were just more right for that role, or it just made more sense to put that person in that role. It might not even be some big reason.
So how do you take care of your mental health as an actor, as a 20-year-old in LA?
The way I phone buzz.
Both of our eyes just go.
We go. The way I used to look at it was like, I shouldn't cry after I don't get roles. I shouldn't cry. Like, I should not be upset about this. I'm gonna be happy. I'm gonna whatever. And then for a while, a couple years, I would just like be like, well, that's okay. Maybe the next one. And then like a month ago, my therapist was like, why don't you just let yourself be upset? Because you care. You care a lot. So be upset and feel that emotion, and then it'll pass a lot easier. And I was like, you know what, Allie, you're right. So it was like, okay, why is there this stigma about like actors needing to have thick skin? Guess what? I care a lot. Like I really, really care about it, and I really want to be working. So yeah, it is really upsetting to not get something you care about. So why not just feel the emotions of it? So I feel like that would be my advice. Is, like,
When
just
you were
feel it.
bottling it up more, did you then just like have breakdowns? Because
And then I would get one thing that I didn't even really care about that much, and I would be like sobbing my eyes out, a mess for 3 days. Whereas now it's like, the other day I didn't get something, and I like had a little cry, and then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go downstairs and I'm gonna write a script and I'm gonna do something productive. Instead of being an emotional mess who wants to quit for 3 days. I feel like you gotta feel the feels.
I'm doing a lot of inner child work with my mentor. I recently had an audition experience that I told you, but it was what was awful was the nerves. I couldn't even feel my body. And it was an in-person callback with a huge team sitting behind the table for something that I'd worked really hard for and I cared really deeply about. And it was one of the worst auditions I've ever had, and it was traumatizing. And it was awful, and it was just terrible. And I had to think of it as like, my inner child just wants to like crawl into a hole right now, and I have to like let my inner child feel, and she'll be okay, and we'll get through this. But if you don't allow yourself to feel, but then you also, I don't know about you, but then I start to feel guilty that I'm even like this upset when there are bigger and I'm like so blessed that these are my problems. You know what I mean? And it's like, I just try to focus on like, I'm so grateful that I got the opportunity to be in this room. This happens, I'm gonna learn from this. Even with that mindset, I feel like you do have to let your inner child have its moment.
Because you
can still be
also
grateful.
can't like it's so true to like ground you sometimes, to be like, this is not the biggest problem in the world, but at the same time you can't diminish your own
Totally.
feelings. Like if you feel that way, you feel that way. It's emotionally taxing
Yeah.
to go through things like that,
Yeah.
especially when you really care about it.
Thank you so much for doing this.
This was so much fun.
I love you so much. I had so much fun.
This was so fun.
I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure to follow Jill. I'll put all her links in the description. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.